This is RV Residences, a 999 years leasehold development right here along River Valley Road. 248 units, done with quite premium German appliances. For the L-shaped corner, you do have an oven. Is this an oven? Now this is RV Residences, a 999 years leasehold development right here along River Valley Road. That's going to be the entrance point of the new Great World City MRT station, and of course Great World City Mall is just right tucked towards that diagonal direction. You have Valley Point Mall as well. We're heading into this project that was completed in the year 2015. If you're a two-bedder lover that wants to keep your quantum below 1.6 mil, this is the one. Let's go. Alright, so we are in, and this is definitely for 999 years or freehold lovers. So if you are looking definitely for something that is with longevity for the D9, D10 landscape, we are in RV Residences today. A little bit about this project. This was completed in the year 2015. Developer was all green. 248 units, medium-sized density. A bit of history on River Valley was that last time, why was this name given is because this entire area in the River Valley portion, that is really like a valley area in between Fort Canning Hill as well as Pearls Hill. So that's why the name River Valley was given. And there used to be two River Valley roads, but one has been renamed to Havelock Road. This road has then been preserved with the same name, stretching across all the way from Robertson area towards the other end, nearer towards Tiong Bahru area. So this road, of course, is very popular. If you tell our friends that you live in RV Residences, the address is River Valley, everybody know where that is because that is one of the key points in terms of intersection of D9 and D10. Let's zoom out a little bit, have a look at this key area within Great World City because this is a very interesting area and that forms the intersecting point of D9, D10 and D3 with Great World right in the middle. And something interesting is that if you were to choose to live in some of the boutique apartments right across the street, if once the MRT station is up, you will likely walk along River Valley Road and end up using the entryway right in front of Rivershire. If you live towards this portion with RV Residences and Valley Park, and of course you have Valley Point Mall right on your left hand side. But right now, orientation wise, great proximity to Great World City Mall and great proximity to the MRT station. In future, when the MRT is up, usually residents from RV Residences, they will cut across backwards towards Kellogg's Road and then they will cut diagonally straight towards Great World City. It's pretty easy to walk. That will take you perhaps about 5 to 7 minutes if you were to take that shortcut backwards. And of course, Great World City has undergone the revamp close to about 2 years back. Cold storage at the basement level, it has basement parking, and of course the Cineplex plus loads of F&B options for you and your family. And if you were to have a look at this orientation, RV Residences is pretty interesting in the sense that it is a long slab sitting on about 60,000 odd square feet of land size. This was launched in the era after the cooling measures, and in terms of the two-bedroom kind of history on how layouts are being evolved throughout the years, maybe let me share with you a little bit of backdrop. So initially, most of the two-bedders before the season of about 2010, they were all constructed to be about a 900 plus, about 1,000 square feet kind of range. So perhaps you have seen projects that were completed in the year 1990s to about 2000 odd range. Anything that's before the 2010 range, usually they belong to a little bit more large size kind of layout config with like 2 huge bedrooms, 2 baths, some even come with a yard and utility room. And then as we progress along the years, you will start to see that the layouts has evolved into a more efficient layouts. Of course, that is in conjunction with increasing land costs, and developers and architects definitely are trying to see how they can make the layout a little bit more efficient. So layouts that falls after the 2013 eras, they usually have kind of like a mixture of an open kitchen kind of concept, 2 beds, 2 baths. The latest version, of course, in the year 2020s is that the 2-bed, 1 bath kind of model has become very popular. Also at about a 600 odd square feet kind of config. So I think we're definitely evolving in a new kind of configuration layout. The layout layouts right here at RV residences are done in a very efficient way. So maybe just to share on what are the bedroom types that you can choose in RV residences. 248 units, there are 31 penthouses here, which are made up of 2, 3, 4, 5 bedroom types of penthouses. For the rest of the layouts, you have 1 beds, 60 odd units, 2 bedders, 90 odd units, 3 bedders, about 59 units, and 4 bedders, you have 3 units right there. So in terms of the density, 1, 2, 3 bedders are the most common type of layouts right here. So for 2 bedders, very easy to distinguish. Either you face towards River Valley Road, which is right in front, or you face backwards towards Valley Park. And there are 11 stacks facing towards River Valley Road, 7 stacks facing towards Valley Park. The front layouts are predominantly the very rectangular shape kind of layout. So let's bring out the floor plan. You'll notice that in terms of efficiency, this is really great because the moment you enter, there's almost no wasted space and you come straight on. And you'll notice that flooring-wise, fittings and fixtures, these are all done with quite premium German appliances. We'll go into detail later, but the key is that there's no long foyer walkway right at the entrance zone. So the moment you come in, almost every inch of floor space is usable. And you do have like a little bit of an outdoor space here with a planter that's already been decked out, so you can still open up, head out a little bit for fresh air. That is fronting towards River Valley. And the 7 stacks at the back, they are predominantly more of like an L-shaped kind of layout for its 2-bedder. So one thing that we notice is that in terms of the architecture design, most of the very essential items like ventilation window within the bathrooms as well as the kitchen, these are all pre-designed in, so it is a very livable project. Alright, let's have a look at the L-shaped kitchen. So you have a nice corner that is being reserved for your washer cum dryer right at this portion. Tabletop space, pretty decent. Washing bay with a sink is right here towards the ventilation window, and then you have top hung cabinets. These are all Miele appliances, and oven is right tucked at this corner. Some pull-outs over at this direction, so 3 pull-outs, and then this is your integrated fridge. So the fridge at the top, and then the freezer at the bottom, and over at this portion there's still some space here for you to keep your storage within your kitchen space. So very easy and very convenient because over at this direction you can put in like a 4-seater. As you come towards the living area, you'll notice that there's still this entire wall line for you to put in some display shelves, a beautiful rack like this, and you can use like perhaps all the way up to at this portion. You can even perhaps build up an entire wall of storage space. So maybe we can throw in some rendering images for you to help you to visualize a little bit. And I think this is definitely one of the best places for you to put in a combination of like a TV console with a bookshelf and stretching all the way towards that corner. 3 panels of sliding window, and these are all double glazed because you are fronting towards River Valley Road. So to do a little bit of sound check, River Valley is about a 6-lane road, 3 lanes to and fro. So for RV residences, the facilities right here are done in quite an interesting manner because not only do you have level 1 parking, you do have basement 2 and basement 3 parking for all the residents here, although a lot of them don't drive. I think because it's already in town area, a lot of people are just taking public transport or maybe using a lot of the buses as well. In future, once the train is up in the Thompson East Coast Line, that's going to be even more fantastic. But you do have 3 levels of parking. Level 1 is reserved for residents. Visitors and residents can also use B2 and 3. As you head out to level 7, that is where the gym is being located. Level 8, which is the attic level, that's being reserved for some of the penthouses, as well as the Sky Lab pool is right there. You do have like a reading lounge and children's playground right on level 1. And on level 2, at one of the towers, there is an open sky garden tucked right at the corner as well. So in terms of facilities, you also have 24-hour security, so it's almost like a full scale. The only thing is, of course, this is a mid-size density, so there's no tennis court right here. Very efficiently placed in a longish shape, fronting towards River Valley. So meantime, let's have a look at the bedrooms. Now in terms of the flooring materials, these are marble finishings, and the moment you head into the bedrooms, these are solid parquet finishes. And the 2 bedrooms do come with the bay window latch, and for some of the key users of window ledges, basically you can have 3 different options. One is to build a storage up to this level, so you still remain the main window panel right about your waist height onwards. And you can build in a full panel of storage space for you to have some pull-out drawers. The second option, of course, is to use a mount-on kind of combination study table or maybe a dresser table. And you can shift your single bed right on towards the middle portion with your bed head fronting against this wall. Third option will be to design a mount-on queen bed with bottom storage. So you have 3 different options for you to look at. So I think all the key items are already given within this two-bedder layout. And one of the key features is that because there's no huge balcony, you have more space within the livable zone as well. Now let's have a look in the sense, if let's say you want to buy this property and you're thinking about, hey, should I have a look at some of the key choices around this vicinity? So what our team has done is that we have shortlisted about 9 other projects right here around the vicinity of about 500 meters. And let's have a look at some of the key prices in comparison with RV residences. So when we look at pricing wise, we also have to look at the date that it was completed vis-a-vis the size of the two-bedders plus the PSF and overall quantum price that it is asking at right now within the 500 meters of RV residences. The last important thing is also to look at the amount of density, because River Valley on this side plus Nathan area on the other side is mainly populated by boutique projects. So project sizes will start from units with perhaps about 60, 70 plus units within the development, all the way to about 100 odd units within the project. RV is definitely one of the bigger sizes with 248. So the key benefit, of course, with having a little bit more volume and density within your project is that the volume month on month or quarter on quarter in terms of sales transaction, if it's healthy, which is healthy for RV residences, is definitely a key benefit when it comes to price growth or price maintenance over the years. But one key determinant for you to understand a little bit about the trend is that there are 3 key predominant trends in terms of disparity effect when we talk about two-bedders pricing right here in the River Valley zoning. Now the very first one is that look at the size of the two-bedder to determine whether is this two-bedder layout of a larger size, because if let's say it's a 900 to 1000 square feet size, then the next thing to look at is that has the PSF moved up over the past 2 years. If the PSF has already moved up, you're overall buying at a larger quantum. This could mean that the price growth has already been factored in over the past 2 years. Perhaps this project of a bigger density, bigger volume, more popularity, it has moved up since the past 18 months. Now the second category is to look for projects with a lower PSF to see whether has the PSF pricing moved up. Now if the size is big, but the PSF is low, then that is of a PSF play. Now usually these projects might be projects that are smaller in terms of density and volume, or they might be older projects that has not really moved up over the past 18 months. Now the third type of price trend for two-bedders will be what we call a quantum play. Now quantum play is something like what RV residences is having right now. It's not too old because it was completed in 2015. Layout wise is efficient at 678 square feet. Quantum play in the sense that the overall price quantum is at 1.59 million. Looking at the overall quantum and affordability at about $1.5 million in comparison to perhaps some of the two-bedders right here, they are closing into about 1.8, 1.9 or $2 million. So if you're hunting for something with an affordability range, this might be one of the key choices for you to consider. And we head to the master room. You'll notice that the master is pretty decent in size. Currently it's already a king bed. Have a baby pram right here, bay window, and you can also put in the 3 different options for the bay window right there, utilizing the space, because that entire space allows you to put in 2 armchairs fronting towards the front, and you can work from home from here, and you definitely have to utilize the bay window area to your best advantage. Now wardrobe space, 3 panels right at this direction, and of course if you want to stretch a little bit, if let's say you prefer to have more wardrobe space, what you can do is definitely to increase the amount of wardrobe panels with an L-shaped panel, and can mount on your king bed onto the bay window with bottom storage as well if you don't need a study table area right within your master. So 4 different options for you to look at. Ensuite wise, surprisingly, developer in all green has gave marble finishings for the wall and flooring. You can look at the amount of detail that they put into this project. Rain shower, ventilation window, and of course you have storage right behind the mirror. And as you head towards the common bath, similar in terms of fittings and fixtures, and size is definitely very decent. Ventilation window as well. So flipping over, we also want to look at how Urwell Residences is doing, because that's a huge, beautiful project by CDL, right tight at the corner on a large plot of land, 2 towers, 99 years in nature, and that has done very well since the launch a couple of months back. In terms of its two-bedders, there are 2 predominant configuration, 2-bed 1 bath, 2-bed 2 bath. They're all doing at about $2,400 all the way to $2,900 per square foot. In terms of quantum wise, the 2-bed 2 bath now, starting price with some of the balanced units is already in the range of about 1.7 odd, 1.8 odd million dollars. So we think that the overall balance of 999 freehold and 9 29 years nature in the D10 pristine around Great World City. It's a very healthy mix. And if you were to come into RV 1.59, we think at 3-5 years later, if you want to exit, you can still definitely exit at a very decent price. The next thing to think about is that what will be your monthly commitment and monthly investment in the event let's say you buy this unit. And let's assume that maybe you are a young couple, both of you are working, and let's have a look at in the event if you're buying this at full asking price at 1.59 million. And we're going to bump up the interest rate a little bit higher because now interest rate is at 1.1 to 1.2%. Let's just assume a safer benchmark at 1.5%. Trend it over 30 years tenure. You're looking at a monthly installment of about $4,100 per month. In terms of interest rate that you're paying, out of this component, you're putting in perhaps about $2,700 into a principal per month, putting it at about $1,400, maybe about $1,600 of interest over the next 30 years, depending on, of course, the movement of the interest rate. So let's assume if both of you are working, you're earning at least 6K a month, you can use around the range of $1,200 per person into CPF. That will contribute a total of $2,700. So the balance of about $1,400 will be topped up with your cash savings, and per person commitment will be about $600 per month, which is about 11% of your monthly income in terms of cash outlay. So if we look at another example, maybe let's say if you're a single person, you are buying this for your own stay, you want to live in the city, you perhaps don't own a car, or maybe you own a car but you want to just be right here in the 999 years development. You can maybe also consider in future, let's say if you are predominantly just using the living space and the master room, and let's say you want to rent out one of the bedrooms, the common room right here is doing at about $1,200 rental, and it's very well received and taken up by a lot of expatriates, of course single person tenant. And $1,200 going into, of course, your monthly installment is definitely a huge benefit because that will take care of close to most of the interest payment that you're making to the bank, and of course the rest of the payment that you're making yourself from a CPF and cash outlay will predominantly be towards your principal. So these are the two options that you can look at on how to service the loan quantum for $1.59 million purchase. And last but not least is also to look at the entire landscape, OCR region, RCR and CCR. We think that CCR is definitely prime for the next 1.5 to 2 years because this is the only segment in terms of its property price index that has not surpassed the peak of its own price index back in the heydays of 2006, 07 and 2013. So compared to OCR and RCR, they have been performing very well in these two regions. They've already surpassed their peak pricing, but CCR is definitely still at a very nice benchmark because it has its own price peak to maintain. And we think that in terms of even the quantum play wise, in comparison to OCR and RCR, 159 pretty attractive. And last but not least, if you want to have a look at this place, give our listing managers a call. Numbers are all right here. Our content is also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and TikTok. And once again, my name is Melvin Lim. As always, happy to show the place. This is definitely a quantum play. Asking price is at... Hey, wait, what's the asking price? 1.59. Okay. PSF? 2-3 something. Oven right at the bottom. Nowadays, it's very common to have... Is this an oven? It is.